Right, guys. Hey, requested video. How do you fill your sprayer? So several guys are going to do their own spraying this year. They got their sprayers, they've got their pesticide license, and so they're looking at all the valves on the sprayer, and they're just kind of like, a little intimidating. I get it. So they asked if I just go through a normal procedure of filling the tank. A big part of that is you got to read the directions on your chemicals, and some of the chemicals, most of the chemicals that I use are a half tank of water, then add the chemicals, and then finish your water. I do use the induction cone, so I don't have the one that pierces the jugs and rinses the jugs, but it works very good. It keeps my exposure very minimum. I don't have to be climbing the tank and stuff like that. And the big thing, I'm glad these guys are going to their own application, because one, you're guaranteed that it's done right by you. You don't have to worry about some kid that the co-op hired to try and get something done, or he's learning on the fly. Two, it gives you the opportunity to buy your chemicals wholesale. There's so many places online like AgVend. I would go to AgVend if you're buying enough stuff to pay for the shipping. It's worth a look at. Otherwise, there's other wholesalers online. AgVend, compared to Farm Business Network, you don't have to pay a membership fee, and you don't have to give them any of your data like Farm Business Network does or used to do. So I like AgVend a lot better than Farm Business Network for that aspect, that it's just a simple Walmart online. Buy your chemicals, be done with it. But we got a good local wholesaler as well, and that works out pretty good. So we'll go through just the basics here of refilling and how I do it and stuff like that. First valve that I need to make sure is open as I open up. This is my port to fill with. This is the big pipe, the valve that allows me to pull out of the big tank to the pump. My agitation is on right now. I'm going to the manifold for the spray boom with this valve, and my rinse tank is off. This is just another valve between the pump and the big manifold. So he's always open. So for right now, fill port's open, big tank is open, rinse water always shut. Over here, I open my water tank. It's clean water this time. A lot of times when I was using GMO corn and beans, I put all my Roundup in with the water because it didn't matter what field I was going to. But this year with the conventional crops, it does matter. Induction, cone closed. Open up the bypass, and then we can start our pump and get going. Got the induction cone. What I do is, while it's filling, you got some water, you know, as it fills, you get some agitation going. Then I'd climb up and you'd pour some in. So I go in a lot earlier to give it more time to agitate. And the first things we'll pour in is our water conditioner and our crop oil, so they can get blended through, and then just start adding the chemicals as we go along, and it goes pretty quick. So with the induction, he pushes quick enough that I need to already get going on dumping chemical. There we go. I shut off the bypass, open up the Venturi, and so you can see the crop oil getting sucked down in. Not very fast, but it works nice because it's already going. And so some of the products I use are a granular, and so it works very well to have them get agitated better through the line. So he's gone, so now I start putting in the next stuff. The thing is so I threw a bunch of Tri in there just to show you. If I open this up, you lose your Venturi effect, and it will start to bubble in there, and it'll agitate for you. And you shut it down, and it'll suck it back down for you. So it's kind of a slick little deal. It works really well. I like it. I'm really glad I have it. The one with the knife in the middle that you can just drop the jug on would be tremendously better, because you would even be less exposed to the chemical. So you always want to make sure you got your PPE. I take my stuff off when I'm recording here, but otherwise I'm just standing here watching it pump, you know what I mean? So we'll give her a rev up. get that through, and then we'll start getting our other product. Roundup, one thing is if you're using Roundup to use something or another somewhere with an anti-foaming agent, because Roundup does get very foamy in your tank. You can see how this one kind of foams up, but the other stuff I use. So what I have is a residual that's very good on grass, is okay on broadleaves. Another residual that is very good on broadleaves and not too bad on grass. Actually, this one's pretty good on both. This one's pretty good on both. Together, they will burn down anything that is up. Dandelions, big thistles, all that other stuff that's really hard to control. And then we have a crop oil for them dandelions and thistles that get a wax on them to help them protect. So the crop oil burns and helps the chemical get in. We got a water conditioner because of our water, and then some Roundup because, well, I don't need it, but now that the lawsuit's been settled, I'm going to use it so I get cancer and I win the lottery, maybe. But no, the Roundup just to help with them big dandelions and them big broadleaves that are hard for a lot of these chemicals to kill. And so we have a really good residual layer going on. So water hemp isn't coming up through. It lasts 20 to 30 days worth of coverage. So we're doing really well there. And we're going to smoke anything that is out here. But yeah, yep, that's what we got going on. So we just watch our gauge. Want to be around 800-ish. But we're kind of sloped. So you got to just kind of compensate a little bit, you know, so maybe we'll be closer to 900. You know, it is what it is. I always mix a little extra. So if it's an 80 and I'm doing 10 gallons of water, you want 800 gallons, but then I want a little bit extra. Especially if you've got other fields to go to, you might as well give yourself 100 or 200 gallons extra because of your odd shapes. You know, you're going to burn up more spray filling in corners than you think. And then when you're done at the end of the day on our last pass, we run this down. We run it empty. Then we switch over. We'll close that valve from our tank draw. We open this valve from our clean water. Then I turn that valve up to rinse. I leave agitation open, so I'm agitating and I'm rinsing clean water. And I'll do that for a little bit. And then the last little bit, I get down, then I shut off my agitation, turn on my boom. Well, actually I said that backwards. I shut off my clean water, save me a little bit. I spray out what gets in the tank. You know, you use this halfway, spray what's in the tank out, run this down some more, run that out, and then the last little bit I just use clean water, agitation off, and the rinse ball off, and just push the clean water through the boom to make sure that I'm getting the boom thing. So you got agitation here, spray boom that position, up goes to the rinse ball, up on the outside over there. This valve down here is coming off of our clean water. And so them are the valves. That's kind of how I do it. I'll get there. We'll get that video. Calm down. So 115 acres later, we're empty on the tank. So I'm going to shut my tank off because I don't want to draw back out of the tank. I leave agitation on. And I'm going to open this up. Now I'm going to draw out of my clean tank. And we turn this so it goes through the ball up top. Then I just turn my lever on for a few minutes and until that water goes down. You can hear it spraying around in there. It's just a ball, just a goofy ball that just spins and it rinses the tank out. Some of the water has gone through the system. I'll flip him back to boom, and we'll let it agitate for just a few more seconds. Woo, shoot a pickle. And then I'll switch over to suck the tank out. So I can go shut this off, open this back up, shut agitation off. So now I'll suck the tank dry, and then I'll come back and suck that other tank dry. So that tank is empty as far as the pump is gonna get it, kind of deal. So now I'll pull clean water off of here, I'll shut that tank off, and finish rinsing the boom with just clean water. So I just jacked it right up to 20, and that gives me a lot of pressure out the boom, and it won't take more than a moment, and then that water will be gone. There's about 15 gallons left in that little tank, so I mean that's the equivalent, you know, I got to cover an acre basically. So yeah, I'm sure you guys do it differently. Leave a comment below on how you guys do it, and we'll go from there. But hopefully this helps out the guys that were asking, and yeah.